Now, last time we saw of gaining this knowledge, whether you are living the life as a karma yogi or you are living as a sannyasi. Later on in the next chapter, you will say that there are only two lifestyles. One is sannyasa, one is karma yoga. One is the scenic route, one is the fast track. Okay. There is no other third, fourth thing is not there. Only two things are there. In fact, really speaking, only one thing is. What is that? Atma Jnanam. You need to gain this knowledge irrespective of your lifestyle. Lifestyle can be anything. This knowledge is what you have to gain. That is why, really speaking, though it is true that our culture, our heritage, our lifestyle, etc., has been geared to prepare someone for gaining this knowledge. There is no rule that without this cultural background, you can gain this knowledge. In fact, many of us teachers, we went to convent educated schools. We are not so much in touch with our cultural heritage until later on we started questioning what we are into. Then we made a U-turn for it. Otherwise, in our upbringing, many of this thing was not there. But still, certain things had gone into the psyche, certain attitude of worship was there. A worshipful attitude was there. That much was good. I agreed the culture helps, but that doesn't mean someone coming from a completely different culture cannot gain this. And it is not that many cultures are diametrically against this also. Some are. Okay? But let us take a culture like an older British culture which talked about devotion to duty, God and country. That's also a pretty good culture, that much. The colonization part was a problem. But the other part, the respect for knowledge, etc., was a good thing. Hierarchy, royalty, etc., was a bit of an issue. But otherwise, it's okay. Or some culture that highlighted the independence of a person. And good for people to come to this. Yeah. Because after some time, you find that what you're talking about as independence is not really independence. You're still dependent on a lot of things. Therefore, you'll want to look for true independence and come to this. Yeah, our culture, heritage, etc. is good. But there is no rule that without this, you can't come to the truth. In fact, many things in the last couple of 100 years that goes in the name of Indian culture is actually orthodoxy, not culture or tradition. Last couple of 100 years, it's all been orthodoxy. Heavy duty orthodoxy. Okay. Very little culture and tradition there. Orthodoxy, patriarchy, all those problems are there. So, what is culture? What is this? You also have to keep in mind. Because anything done for 2 generations, for the third generation, this becomes culture or heritage. Right or wrong doesn't matter. Right or wrong doesn't matter. Without thinking what it is. Yeah, all of you heard my cat sutras of Buddhism, isn't it? Cat sutras of meditation. You'll remember that? No? Array. There was this monastery. And of course, there's a head about the Mahamandaleshwar. When he used to sit for meditation, the cat would jump on his lap and disturb him. So he told his student, please tie up the cat. So very obedient students regularly, before the monk sits down in meditation, see the cat would be tied up. So after some time, the monk had his samadhi. This next in line took over. The cat continued to be tied. After some time, the cat died. Got a new cat that also continued being tied. Then the monk had his samadhi. The number three took over. Cat continued to be tied. Cat number two died. Cat number three came into picture, continued to be tied. And by the fourth generation, someone wrote a book called the Cat Sutras of Meditation. Why it is important, the symbolic, philosophical, cultural meaning of tying a cat before meditation. Many of our customs are like that. Okay. The original thing is forgotten. You'll find these things in across the board, you'll find it. Across the board. Like years back, I was giving some talk to the Indian Army, on interface between civilian and army. So they were test firing some heavy artillery guns. Okay? These were not self-propelled; they had to be taken by a jeep or something like that. They had wheels that pulled along, important position. They were fired. So I found that man. The jeep where all of us are in one place. The guy who's going to fire the howitzers are on that other end. So how do you signal? You can signal in various ways. So that guy looks at this person, raises his hand. This guy does this movement. And that guy fires. So I saw this happening 2, 3 times. What is this? I mean, I can understand this is a signal, but what does it mean? This has got no meaning. Fire, or what is this? This is what we have been doing. This is how we have been doing things. But I wanted to get into it. So I checked up with a few people. Then they said, see, lunchtime, one of our retired sergeant is coming. He was there from World War II onwards. He's coming. He heard that we are having civilian interaction, etc. He said, can he come and meet the Swami? He's coming for lunch. Maybe he will know. So very respectful man, very well man, tough old man. I knew he had seen a lot of action. You can make out when you see the person. So I asked him, I have this doubt. He says, क्यों? अभी भी वही सिग्नल चल रहा है. So he started laughing. Sir, तो पुराना जमाने में ना, olden days, the horses would take the guns. So you have to ensure that the horses' manes were caught. The stirrups were caught, so that when the gun is fired, the horses won't bolt out of fear. That is why this signal. I mean, there are no horses left. So when you talk of culture, tradition, heritage, remember some of these things will creep in. Many of the thing is orthodoxy. Now, what is orthodoxy? Orthodoxy is a reaction to a real or imagined threat. It's a protective response. Like, for example, The gungat in Rajasthan, Haryana, and all these places, all the women wear gungat. There's a protective response. If the Mughal soldiers saw a beautiful woman, they would carry her off. To prevent that, like how they were in the Parda, we put the gungat. It is a protective response. Today, ये तो हमारा रिवाज है. The tradition. What tradition? It's the Hindu tradition. Hindu tradition in South, no woman covers her hair unless she's a widow. No one covers their hair. Yeah. So a lot of this is, it's a sideline, but I thought in context with all this, I should say this also, that a lot of things come up like, and you have to be aware of these and don't carry a meaningless thing forward. Okay? Like this signaling is not a problem. Whether you say this or you say this, it's okay. But things like gungat, etc., can be a problem. Those can create damage. What if they can't find a cat that day for tying up before the monk meditates? Those type of things will come up. Okay?
Swamiji?
So we saw the last 2 words. Yeah, you have a question?
Yes, Swami. So when we talk of other cultures, just given that their definition of God is very, very different,
Ah,
so how do they practice karma yoga in those cultures?
see, even when we started out, we didn't have any great understanding of God, isn't it? So similarly, other cultures, when they start off, their understanding of God was similar to us, primitive. Someone higher power or someone sitting up there. So later on, as they study Vedanta before Karma Yoga, they have to refine that understanding. You can still call God by the name in your culture, but their understanding has to be refined. And most of them are very happy to do the refining because it answers all the doubts they had. So I have students coming from non-Hindu backgrounds, and they're very happy with the refined understanding.
Right. Yeah. So you can't sidestep karma yoga, basically.
Yeah.
You can't.
And no culture really wants. See, here the Karma Yoga is very refined. Other cultures have it in minimal ways, they have it. Doing your duty to God and country, you know, loyalty. They have. In very little less, they have. Here it's been more refined, that's all. So Karma Yoga, etc., goes more than culture. Culture is the way you dress, the way you eat, the way you this thing. So we also say Brahmarpanam before our meals. They say their grace before meals. It's fine. Acknowledging Bhagwan before you eat, no, that's okay. We do a Brahmarpanam, they say their grace. The sense of gratitude, this, that, etc. is there. Now, if you go into refine understanding, take that water, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, all that. Then Pranaya Swaha, Pana Swaha. You know what it's actually supposed to mean? 5 handsful of food. That's all you're supposed to eat. 5 for the Pancha Pranas, 6 Brahmane Swaha. That's it. You're not supposed to eat more than that. But here we take 6 grains and then enjoy the full Sadhya we enjoy. Multi-course meal. Because That was predominantly meant for the Brahmanas. That pranayama. Why? Because your job is of a priest, etc. It is not physically demanding. So don't consume too much of food. Have you seen a non-pot-bellied priest anywhere in modern life? Why? Too much of food, too much of that prasad. All of them are diabetic. I know so many of them. Well, we follow that, 6 handfuls. You'll be fine. Yeah. If you're following it, follow it completely, or at least have the understanding. You understand? I mean, this thing creeps across other things. I'm sure when it first started, the fasting in the day, eating at night, it started with good intentions. Why? You fast throughout the day. Now, that's not easy. Because many of them don't even drink water for 12 hours. Now, in this weather, it's a very, very difficult part. The Ramzan fast is not easy. Well, it is tough. Then, in the evening, you break fast with some fruits, dates, etc. That was cultural again, what is available at that time. But good thing to break. Then 9 o'clock, you have your first meal, proper meal. Good enough. Then, before the day starts, before sunrise, you have something to eat. Have a light meal because you have to last throughout the day. That's enough. But do you know how it goes on nowadays? Those who are staying in Bombay, have you ever gone to Mohammed Ali Road or something? नहीं गया अरे यार क्या है बॉम्बे में रह के मोहम्मद अली रोड जाके जलेबी फिरनी and all you are not eating. Is this? This is the time to do all that. You get the best of Mohammedan food at this time. Throughout the night, you're eating. You're having a heavy meal at 5 o'clock in the morning. How can you have a heavy meal at 5 in the morning? Even if you're going to fast throughout the day. Oh, it's unhealthy. Have something light. You had a good dinner, have something light. Fine. It started well with a good intention, but became a problem later. This is a problem, right? Right now, you're just making everything reverse. रात को खाओ पियो दिन को आराम करो बॉम्बे से आया मेरा दोस्त दोस्त को सलाम करो like that. So in every culture or thing, there can be this thing happening, entropy, this degradation happening. One has to keep an eye out for those things. Then continuing the same idea further of sannyasa, is giving a very, very beautiful verse in terms of a sannyasi's mindset. That's the 22nd verse. Yadricha labha santushta dvandavjita vimatsaraha samasiddhau asiddhau cha kritvapi nanabhadyate. This is jnana lakshana sannyasa. Jnanena, by knowledge, you're given up prakriti. Is yadricha labha santushta. Is a person who's happy with what fate brings to him. Yadricha labha. महाराज जी कहाँ से आ रहा है अरे भिक्षा गया था अच्छा भिक्षा अच्छा मिला आज नहीं आज तो एकादशी माना टुडे यू डिडंट गेट एनीथिंग फॉर भिक्षा टुडे इज एकादशी फॉर यदृच्छा लाभ और संडे हाँ आज तो भंडारा था दयानंद आश्रम में बहुत खाना पीना बहुत अच्छा था बहुत अच्छा व्यवस्था किया था Our ashram bandaras are very well known. Everyone likes to come for it. Therefore, yadircha labha santosh. Dvandvatita. Beyond the idea of duality. No more they take themselves separate from the world, separate from Bhagavan, separate from the reality, separate from each other. All sense of separateness is only function. Non-duality is a fact of life. Duality is just your experiential functioning. Nithya, apparent, not real. Whereas right now in our studies, we feel duality is real and non-duality is a concept that we have to understand. It has to be reversed. That when you're studying and understanding, that non-duality is a fact of life. What is there is only one consciousness. What about all this that is experiential? Nithya, not real. Like enjoying my sunrise and sunset, knowing it doesn't rise, doesn't set. But I still enjoy it. Really. When you're sitting down with your friend and enjoying the sunset, and some of you may be students of physics, etc., or geography, you say, actually, the sun doesn't rise or set. It's only an optical illusion caused by the rotation of the Earth. Unless you're Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, you won't see that. You know it's not there. You still enjoy the scene. Similarly, you know, non-duality is a fact of life, but you enjoy the duality that's happening. Svatitaha. Vimatsaraha. Where is the competition? One thing that happens in a sannyasi life, which is very important. You may not be able to do this as a karma yoga, but as a sannyasi, definitely, you are non-competitive. You don't compete with another person. What is there to compete? There is no competition. As a karma yogi, you may have to compete because you are participant in society. The fact that you're going for an interview and there are 10 people called for an interview is competitive. You can't avoid that. But you can have a healthy thing, win-win thinking, a healthy sportsman spirit, no bluffing, no cheating. So you compete in a healthy manner, in a win-win manner. Whereas sannyasi, vimatsaraha. Like I remember there were times when I used to do a lot of corporate programs. So sometimes they'll come. Samji, we know you're a senior person, but we want you to come and give a presentation. I said, why? You have videos of what I've done and things like that. No, because there are 3, 4 people and we want to. I said, if there are 3, 4 people, give it to the other person. I'm not competing. This is a big project. Let it be. Vimatsaraha. I won't compete. Why should I compete? For me, is reaching out so more people can come into this knowledge. For that person, probably that is the source of livelihood. I'm not going to take it away from him. You're losing a lot of money. So what? नसीब में है तो आ जाएगा यदृच्छा लाभ संतुष्ट नसीब में है तो आ जाएगा नहीं तो नहीं आएगा what does it matter therefore vimatsara important for us sannyasi to have this vimatsara samasiddhau asiddhau ch when in success and failure the same this is applicable to a karma yogi also but in jnanam it's much more siddhi and asiddhi in achievement and non-achievement same uh, samatvam even-mindedness. But success and failure are not the same. Your response to it is the same. Success, failure is failure. How can you say it is not? It is the same. You are the same in both of them. You are unaffected by both. There is karma, there is karma phalam. Success and failure are your thinking. Isn't it? You thought that this course of action will get there. But there are a lot of disruptive forces because of which you may not get. So then what? You are the same means you take it in your stride. Because of what you know. Such a person, kritvapi naivadyate, even if you are to do a few things, do a few actions, naivadyate, he is not touched by that. He is not bound by that. He is not affected by that. Karma phalam bondage is not there for such a person. Because one has to be clear who is the karta and for whom is karma phala. The Atma cannot do anything. Limitless consciousness cannot do. The body, mind by itself cannot do. But when the consciousness is manifest in the body and mind, and you don't know that you are the consciousness, you create a concept about yourself. I am like this only. This is called your ahankara. It is this conceptual entity that does everything. It's a sheer concept. Purely conceptual. All of us have an idea of who we are. Sometimes that get a bit bloated also. Do you know who I am? And if I meet someone like that, whoever it is, even if I know who he is, I say, no, I don't know who you are. Who are you? Please tell me. So it's purely conceptual. But being a concept doesn't mean it can't do this. It can go to heaven and come back. Forget going to Mars and come back. It goes to another dimension and comes back. So this is the entity that does actions. Therefore, this is the entity that will get the karma phala. And since now look at it, that end concept is based on my body, mind, etc., and on I, the consciousness, both. This is what I take as me, I, my conceptual self, my functioning. And this keeps modifying. Oh, I was the CEO of this company. ये तो retire हो गया. So this keeps modifying, but this is the entity, your self-identity, as you call it. So this is the one that gets karma phala. That goes to other dimension and comes back. Also known as the jiva, sense of I that does things. Where am I, the consciousness, bothered by it? Your concept hai, doesn't have any reality. Whereas I, the consciousness, is absolute reality. It's just a thought form. The ahankara is just a thought form. Therefore, where is it? What do you have to do with the ahankara? Nothing. Just to understand who you are. All you have to do is understand you. When people come to Vedanta and make a big gucci out of it. Ahankara is a problem. You have to kill the Ahankara. You have to... Why are you giving it greater reality than it has? You have a three-piece suit in your, what do you call it? Your cupboard, your dressing cupboard. Yeah. What is that? My work identity. I'm the CEO of a... What do you have to know? To know that you're independent of that, what do you have to do? You must destroy that suit. You have to really take it off and throw it off. You know you're independent. Huh? The role you're playing. The board appointed you, the board can remove you. Same way, Ahankara is a concept you create. What do you have to do to destroy it? Nothing except knowing the truth. People come to Vedanta and talk such nonsense. I've heard Vedanta teachers talking such. You destroy the ego, suffer some humiliation. As good to go through some humiliation and see whether you're even minded. That's good. That much is good, not more than that. You don't have to humiliate yourself unnecessarily. As there is there are enough experience where you feel humiliated anyway. Would you like some water or something? Yeah. So you don't have to do anything more than that. Just to recognize what you are. That's all. So kritvapi na badyate. The person who knows the truth, even if he doesn't really do. At the same time, he seems to do. Not bound by it. Hey, then all these are lakshanas of a person who is a sannyasi here by knowledge, okay? Who has gained the knowledge of a wise person. What was said as a sthita prajna in the second chapter is presenting as jnana lakshana sannyasa here. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajnaya charatah karma samagram praviniyate. Gata sangasya, one whose sangaha, okay? Sangha is your attachment, you being involved in gataha. This is what makes people scared studying Vedanta. Then my sangha, my love for the family, etc., will go away. Love is not sangha. Duty is not sangha. Love is not sangha. That emotional dependency is sangha. Like there is a series called Young Sheldon. It's a spin-off from Big Bang Theory. There you should see that lady, Sheldon's mother, struggle with the fact how her son is growing up. He's my baby. Yeah, but he has to stay in the hostel now. Maybe I should also move in. He's only 11 years old and he's going to go and stay in a hostel. Okay. Why? He has graduated from school and now he's in college at 11 years old. It's a genius kid. But he's still a baby. That is Sangha. That holding on to, not being able to let. What is a Grahastha called? Translation of Grahastha Ashram in English. What do most people translate it as?
Householder.
Householder. Exactly. Why? You're holding on to the house and saying, correct है ना? अरे यार मर मर के बनाया घर With the younger generation slightly changing. That's why you'll never ask a sannyasi in Rishikesh especially, where do you live? Where? मेरा ही है सब कुछ. You'll never ask where is tea. महाराज जी आपके आसन कहाँ है? That's the question. The polite way of asking. महाराज जी आपके आसन कहाँ है? Where have you kept your meditation seat? हाँ आसन है वही है. भाई सारी दुनिया हमारा ही है. दुनिया में कोई नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है मेरा. Whole attitude. You have everything, you have nothing. Gata sangasya. Why? Muktaha. He's gained the knowledge, therefore is free from everything. Free from all wrong identifications. Okay? Muktasya. Why? How muktaha? Jnana avasthita chetasa. With this mind resolved into that knowledge. Mind rooted in that knowledge. That knowledge is never out of sight, out of mind. Always rooted in that self-knowledge. That I am nothing but Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Chidanandoham. That rootedness is there. Yajnaya charata karma. Previously, what used to do a lot of yajna, etc. Olden days, worship, etc. Karma. All this karma, what happens? Samagram praviliyati. With all its branches, etc. With all its samagris, etc. It's all gone. In fact, what he's saying is karma phala is not there. For whom is the karma phala? Ahankar. Ahankar has resolved into consciousness. Abhi kya baki hai? Samagram praviliyate. It's all gone. Okay. Little bit understanding of karma because in this context. An ordinary jiva has threefold karma to his name. All of us, you may say, I'm only middle class, I'm lower middle class, etc., etc. You may say all that. But karma-wise, we are all rich. Okay. What you have in your account, you have lived millions of lifetimes. Why? Because starting from Anadi, Avidya is Anadi, and starting from Avidya onwards, you have been having births. So zillions of lives you have lived. Some of them have been human. So 1/10 of zillion is what? Zillion. Okay. So you have 20 of lives as human beings. As a human being, you have done karma. Most of it you got karma phala there itself. Not that for all the karma you do, karma phala comes later. A lot of karma phala comes there in this lifetime itself. Some of it goes for hereafter. Those karmas that are meant to come hereafter comes hereafter. So some of those karmas becomes your savings. Like everyone follows some rule, no? What you earn, some you'll give for charity, some you'll give for investments, some you'll keep for emergency fund, some you will save, some you, of course, you'll spend, some you'll keep for your holiday, etc. Everyone has their own this. So some of this goes as your savings. This is called your sanchita karma, built up over zillions of lives. Millions of lives, you have built up your sanchita karma. You are very rich. But richness can be a bondage. Why? One part of it fructifies to give you this lifetime. What type of parentage you'll have? Yeah, Bish has born in some other house. The karma, you deserve to be born in this house. Karma, you deserve to be born here in India. I know you have set your heart on going to USA, but you deserve to be born here. Punya Bhumi hai yaar. Punya Bhumi. Wait for 50 years. There'll be reverse immigration. Everyone want to come to India. And we'll have to put up barriers. As it is, we hope we have some barriers against some sort of illegal immigration that's coming in and creating our problems. That apart. So, your karma, the people you will meet in your life, karma, situations you will encounter, karma. How you respond to them is your freedom. What you encounter is your past karma. How you respond is your present karma, your choice, your freedom of choice. So don't blame me. All of you deserve somebody like me. And I'm also not blaming anything. I deserve people like karma. So we say, karma as something negative. A lot is involved in choosing your partner, karma. Because you know that karma is involved in it. In the Hindu society, you have formed this system of matching horoscopes, so karmas are matching okay. So at least teamwork will happen. Intimacy, etc., you can build up by your choice, love, affection, etc., you will build up. But at least teamwork will be okay. Both of them, you will not suffer together. When someone is going down, the other person is okay. You see all the dasha matching, this matching, all that you will see. Still, it doesn't work sometimes. That's a different thing. All this is your prarabdha karma. The part of Sanchita becomes your prarabdha for this lifetime. And this lifetime also you're doing a lot of actions. Some of it immediate result. Some of it in the future. So what's going to come in the future is called agami. अभी तक आया नहीं आने वाला आगामी आगामी literally means आने वाला agami what is yet to come what is coming into your life and this agami will go and join your sanchita after your body drops three karmas in your account once you know the truth you're free from all of it. Even sanchita karma the past karma account waiting in your fixed deposits waiting you're free from all of that at one stroke it's like you have fixed deposits in a bank you have a saving account and you have some investments and this person dies without a will, what happens? No inheritors, no this thing. It goes to the state. Similarly here, it is not that you are free from Sanchita first, then Agami. Prarabdha you will get free later when you drop your body. No. Let us say here is a Muslim gentleman. He married his first wife at 64. Second wife in 58. Third in 73. And he was planning for the fourth in 2000 when he collapsed and died of a heart attack. Tell me who's the first widow? 64 wali. Then after so many years, Yes, 58. Hey, all are widowed at one stroke. No? Same way, you have 3 karmas. Sorry. You have 3 karmas in your account. Ahankara account. I am Sachidananda Atma. When are you free? At one stroke. You are free from all karmas. Now it looks as though the prarabdha continues. It looks. Prarabdha is for the body and mind. The body and mind continues because of prarabdha. Therefore, you say for the wise person also, prarabdham iha bunjiyatam. In this lifetime, you have to go through your prarabdha. Rule, eh? Like Ram Tirtha, the great sadhu called Ram. One day he decided, enough is enough. He was quite healthy and fit. Both ho gaya yaar. At Uttarkashi, he walked into the Ganga, gave up his life. Now, what happens to the prarabdha? Swamiji, but if prarabdha is there, he will not die. No? Guarantee, eh? If any of you are 100% sure like that, make your last will and testament, free me from the responsibility of your death, and come to me with a loaded gun. Sorry, gun is a wrong word. A loaded revolver or a pistol. Make an affidavit for all, as I said before, and then I'll show you whether with or your prarabdha you will die. Prarabdha is also not absolute. Is relative to Purushartha. In fact, every time your dasha changes, dasha sandhi they call it. When one major dasha gets over, another major start, you have a chance of going away or slipping away. So people who want to take samadhi and all will look for that. Dasha sandhi ho raha. Good time to take samadhi. The forces are helping you to take samadhi and go. That's why I'm not going to tell people when my dasha sandhi. Anyway, I have no plans for going immediately. After I created a few teachers, etc. Then. Yes, Sujiki.
Swamiji, I'm really at a very basic level of understanding, but
You have to speak a bit louder.
sorry, I find this part a bit difficult to get my head around. Wherein at one place, or in one context, we say that Atma is the Akarta.
Yeah.
While at the other, we say that there is an account for him. There is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Account is for whom? The Ahankara, the conceptual self.
it's not for the Jiva, is it? I mean,
It's for the Jiva, the conceptual self. Not for the Atma. Not for me.
okay.
The limitless consciousness.
But it is with the Jiva, right? The Jiva is reborn with the Sukshma.
Correct. Now, let me give you an example. A wave and the ocean. The ocean is traveling in the wave, meeting with a lot of experiences and life. And sometimes it dies down and it comes up again. Okay. Now, in every wave, there is water. So the experience are for the wave or for the water. It looks like for water. Hey, but water is limitless ocean. Water is not different from the limitless ocean. Then who's going through the experiences? The wave. We are so caught up in the body and mind that we cannot see the difference. We are so caught up in our concepts that I cannot see myself as independent of a concept. So the first attempt in Vedanta is to see that. To see myself as independent from my body, from my emotions, from my knowledge, from my ignorance, that I am independent. These things are dependent on me. All the roles I play are dependent on me. I am independent of the roles. Even human being is a role. It seems fundamental now because you don't have non-human, conscious, freedom of choice beings. We have living beings who are non-human, but they don't have that much of autonomy as a human being has. A dog, for example, there's a great deal of dependency, programming, etc. in a dog. They are not that self-aware. They are not self-judgmental. They have very limited freedom of choice. A dog cannot get up and decide from today onwards, I'm going to go vegan. Whereas a human being. So, like this, which we can choose, we are self-aware and we have the freedom of choice. We have not found another human being like this. Therefore, human being seems fundamental. But tomorrow, suppose we meet someone and let us say an Andromedian who is like this, but different in form from us. But he has got self-awareness and freedom of choice. Then we'll know, human being is also error only, no? Because Andromedian has all that, but he's an Andromedian. I'm a human being, I also have all that. But the consciousness and both will be one and the same. That won't change.
So the jiva is tied to his karma.
Yeah. You are tied with karma, dharma, everything. Yeah.
And knowledge will help release that.
Yeah. Knowledge helps you to release that. Yeah. To discover that you're never bound by any of these. Therefore, that's why the focus is so much on knowledge. Remember in Vedanta right now, you must have been seeing. There is some focus on karma in terms of living a life of karma yoga. But the major focus is on knowledge, not on doing. That's why some people don't do. Swamiji koi sadhana nahi deta hai. Doesn't ask us to do anything. Other gurus ask us to do it. Hey, you're coming to the height of spiritual knowledge in India. It's called Vedanta. There you leave all the karma behind. Then individually I may look at someone and say, hey, this person requires something to do something. Because that part of growth is left. Because karma is meant for you to grow. You will live a good, clean life as a karma yogi, that's enough to grow. Why? There can be enough challenging situations in today's world. I mean, by challenging situations, I mean really challenging situations. I don't mean, array, my maid has not come today. How will I do all the housework? Don't do. That is not challenging enough. Don't do.
And the purpose of life, according to Vedanta, is not really collecting punya. It is just realizing the
It is exactly. It's freedom from punya and papa, both.
freedom from.
Whereas religion, this thing becomes in collecting punya so that you can have better experiences. That's the difference between religion and Vedanta. The Hindu religion and Vedanta, this is the difference. It's not about collecting punya anymore.
Punya is relevant only to the extent that it enables you to collect knowledge, be aware, gather knowledge.
I need only enough punya to get a good teacher, make my life comfortable enough so that I can pursue this knowledge. I don't have so much of struggles in my life that knowledge remains a distant possibility. Enough punya for all that. That's enough for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All the various forms.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Everywhere at the end, the priest says, Dhanyam Dhanam Bhav.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically trying to more is the conceptual.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you take any of it, what the gentleman was saying was, you do any ritual, There's a falashruti at the end, which will say you will get this, you will get that, this thing.
Even the
Ashwamedha
Sankalpa is
phalam labed.
also
Yeah,
starting.
all that. But that is phalam, yeah, it is praise. So there's some motivation to do it, because you will do things only when you get something out of it. But if you do the same things with the Karma Yoga Buddhi, you are free. Your mind is growing enough to know the knowledge. So do the same thing, but with Karma Yoga Buddhi. I do it because I have the desire. Hey, I want to be financially well off, therefore I am going to do Lakshmi Kubera Stuti every day. Do it. But do it with Ishwararpanam Prasada Buddhi. That along with getting that financial stability, you'll also have emotional maturity coming in. So that is the idea of Karma Yoga here. Yeah, Prashant, you had a question.
Swamiji, I have a question regarding, you explained that the Ahankara is only a thought form. It is a conceptual self.
Yeah.
Now, with that Ahankara, I go on doing a lot of karma, having Sanchita, Agami, Prarabdha karma.
Yeah.
But when the Jnanam comes, that Ahankara is negated. Like it's mithya. But how come that is able to destroy the karma, which seems more
All
than
the karma is also
a
mithya.
thought form?
Because karma is also mithya.
It is mithya, but it is more than
the
a...
Ahankara is mithya, and the mithya body and mind does some karma. Karma is also with mithya. Therefore, the karma phala that comes, that's also equally mithya. It's mithya all the way. We take it as real, and that is our problem.
It is mithya, but Ahankara is just a thought form, but a karma is actually more than a thought form.
But it is a result of a thought form only. Thought about it, you conceived about it, and you did it. Punya Papa is only again same level as thought form only.
Okay. That part is not very clear to me, Swamiji.
Yeah,
Like,
but
Punya Papa is just a thought form.
Punya, because Punya Papa is what? Adrishtam, can't be seen. Why? It's a very subtle level of things. Your thoughts also can't be seen in that sense.
Okay.
Very subtle level. Yeah. So you only infer by the result. If you get happy experiences, Punya. Unhappy experiences, Papa. So it's all that level only. Is conception. Heaven and hell are same. You say it's other dimension, but in what way is a dimension different from a thought? This dimension is also a thought. Time, space are thought forms. No? I proved that in the second chapter.
Yeah.
And everything in time, space is what? But it all seems real. That's why the example of dream is given. In dream also everything feels real. But when you get up, what happens? Whole thing goes at one shot. Therefore, Swakale Satyavad Bhati. In its own time, it appears as though it is real. Prabodhe Asad Bhave. When you wake up, it's all Asad, not true. Same here. When you wake up to the reality, it's all Asad.
Sometimes even when you start thinking that sometimes that also comes and sits into the Ahankara. Yeah, correct. In a negative way. Yeah, Ahankara can be funny. In the good you do can also strengthen your Ahankara. Yeah. It's a very funny thing. The thing is not to take it too seriously. Like I say, Reva de. That's the best way of doing it.
In the functional world, we have to take ourselves very seriously. Your bills keep coming, the bosses keep...
Take a functioning seriously, don't take yourself too seriously. If you take yourself too seriously, you'll be stressed out. Take your functioning seriously.
I mean, that's the reality, because people who keep depending on you, or you have some liabilities that they don't go away. So you have to take it. You can't just say that wish them away.
Agreed.
You have to get on top.
Yeah. Even I take my functioning seriously. Na? Recorder is not functioning properly. So after the class last night, I went and got things done at 8:30 in the night. Why? Because hey, I'm taking things seriously. People are dependent on that for listening. No self-judgment. Okay, something to be done, you do. Both okay.
Right.
Good place to stop. This class will be now after 2 weeks. 2 Saturdays we are in Rishikesh. After that, the third Saturday, 28th, I think 29th, we will be. Good place to stop. Home.
Thank you, sir.